Hi, kids.
Okay.
Today is Wednesday, March 25th, and it is an A day, and it is our third day of online learning. And today we are going to be doing what we usually do on a Wednesday, which is taking notes. I hope these videos have been helpful for you. Some of you are telling me that they are, so that's good, okay? And this guy right here is full of energy today because we're doing it during the day, okay? All right, so let's get started. Today is March 25th, 2020. And today we will be writing and graphing inequalities. So, recap. Yesterday, or Monday rather, we talked about inequalities. And that's where an inequality is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, okay? And those were our notes. And now, today we're going to talk about, well, how do we write these? And then how do we graph these? So let's see what we've got, okay? Before we begin, a couple of things I want you just to think about, okay? And I want you to think about spending more than $5 at the arcade. So let's say that Ren spent
Star Wars, Mom?
more. What are you talking about, Star Wars?
You said Ren.
Ren.
Yeah, it's a girl from Star Wars.
Oh, well, Ren is in my class. Ren spent more than $5 at the arcade. So what I want us to do is I want us to think about money, okay? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's about as much as I can write here in this line. But looking here, Ren spent more than $5 at the arcade. Is 1 more than 5? No. Is 2 more than 5? No. Is 3? Is 4? Is 5 more than 5? No. But 6 is more than 5. So is 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. Okay? All of these numbers are more than 5. Let's just keep that in mind. Okay? And I would have continued this way, wouldn't I? Have going to the right. I would have continued going to the right. 13, 14, 15, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, the next thing I want you to think about is there were less than 10 people in line for the ride. Okay? So again, our boy's back. Oh, you ready to help us? Good job. So again, let's write out our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Tell this kid to stop being a distraction. Tell him. Tell him. Say, put the hacky sack away. He's on his break, but we're not on ours.
Yeah, because I don't need a break.
There were less than 10 people in line for the ride. So what is less than 10? Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Is 2? Yes. Is 3? Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all less than 10. Is 10 less than 10? No. So that's why I didn't circle it. Okay? So I want us to keep this in mind, that these numbers are, these numbers would have obviously kept going to the left, okay? How do we write inequalities? These are a little tricky, and you really need to think about the problem, and I'm going to show you what I do with this, because I like to underline certain things to help us. So let's look at example 1. Okay. Example 1 is you must be over 12 years old to ride the go-karts. Bummer. But I think you guys are all over 12, so it should be good. Or maybe you will be this year, okay? So in the sentence, you must be over 12 years old to ride the go-karts. I have to think about you, okay? Well, you can be anybody, right? So I'm going to put a box around this. And I'm going to say, well, you equals anyone, right? Okay. You equals anyone. And anyone has an age. So for example, you could be 3 like this guy. He's sleeping again. That's because he had 2 walks today. And what we'll do is, we don't know, because it's anyone's age. It could be your age or my age or Miss Moore's age. It could be Miss Ashanti's age. We are going to use A for age, okay? Because again, we don't know. Then we're going to underline over. When something is over, that means it's greater than. And when it's greater than, then we know we're going to use the greater than sign. And then lastly, 12 years. Well, we know 12 years is what? It's 12. So I'm going to take all that I have right here and I'm going to put it as an inequality. So, therefore, the inequality is A, anybody's age. The age of someone to go to this go-kart has to be greater than 12. So if you're 11, can you go on this go-kart? Nope. If you're 10, can you go on this go-kart? Nope. If you're 15, can you go on the go-kart? Yes. Let's look at example 2. Example 2. A pony is less than 14.2 hands tall. And no, Andrew, I just coughed. I'm okay, but thanks for being concerned. So here we have a pony. And we're talking about tall, so I'm thinking pony's height, right? So a pony equals height.
Can we shut the door?
Yes, please. Height of the pony. And I could use H, I could use P. In this case, I'm going to use P and stick with pony, right? I don't know what the pony's height is. But I do know that it is less than. So less than equals less than. Very good. You got it, Dilson. And I know the less than sign is this. And then, lastly, 14.2 hands tall. So 14.2 hands. That means, this is my hand, right? We're going to take 14 of my hands, 14.2 of my hands, and that's how tall the pony is. Sometimes people use things like that to help measure. If they don't have a ruler or a tape measure around, you might say, okay, so here's one hand, put another hand on top of that, and another hand on top of that. So that equals 14.2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these and we're going to write an inequality with it. So the inequality is a pony, P, is less than sign, 14.2. And there we have our inequality, okay? I have to turn my page. I'm going to give you one more example of this. And I know Evelise is loving this right now, but that's okay. I'm going to do it on this paper. Example 3. You must be at least 16 years old for what? You must be at least 16 years old to drive. Good job. And Joshua is doing a happy dance in his room because he's almost 16. Little does he know that when you drive, the responsibilities are so much greater. All right, let's look at our problem here, kiddos. You. Again, we're going to box up you. You can be anyone, boys and girls. You could be me. It could be Miss Moore. It can be Miss Ashanti. It can be Sharik. It can be Sharik's grandmother, who probably does things faster than me? No, she does it faster than Sharik. You missed that line now, don't you, Sharik? All right, so again, you means anyone. Anyone's age. And we're going to use what variable? A. Nice. Thanks, Eternity. Then we have at least. So guess what? I've forgotten what that means. So, but I do remember in our notes, so when we go back and take a walk down memory lane, when we have, remember when we did our notes yesterday? Can we find is at least? Oh, I see it. Is at least, another word, is greater than or equal to. So I know when I'm writing this, hold on, sorry kiddos. It's hard to do it with a hand. need to invest in like a tripod or something. I don't know. At least. When I see at least, I know that that means greater than or equal to. And I can write that like this, greater than, equal to. And then we have 16 years. 16 years equals 16. We got it. Now all we have to do is take this and put it in an inequality. So the inequality is you, anyone, must be at least 16 years to drive. At least greater than or equal to 16. So if you are 12, can you drive? No. If you are 15, can you drive? No. If you are 16, can you drive? Yes, as long as you have your license. If you are 22, can you drive? Yes, you are correct, Kyle. Very good. Okay, so the one last thing I'm going to do, and yes, Jaslyn, I'm sorry, one more thing. Okay, I know how you love to take these notes. We are going to graph an inequality. So how to graph an inequality. Well, I'm going to give you, I think I spelled that wrong. That's an L, guys. Sorry. Yes, thank you. I know, eternity. I spelled it wrong. No. Yep. Thank you, Brandley. Yes. Okay. Sorry, kids. Okay, so how do we graph an inequality? Well, we use dots and an arrow, okay? So I'm going to say that we use dots and an arrow. And let's see what this looks like. So it could look like this. Dot and an arrow going this way. It could be a dot and an arrow going this way. It could be a dot, but a shaded in dot with an arrow going this way. Or it could be another shaded in dot with an arrow going this way. Okay? So let's make sense of it. All right? I'm going to make a table. And I'm going to let you know that we're either going to have an open dot or we're going to have a closed dot. Okay? So let's talk about an open dot. Okay? An open dot looks like this. Okay? And when we have an open dot, okay, that means that the number is not included. Okay? So the number, hashtag, the number is not included.
It's not working.
What's not working?
Printer.
Oh,
It won't let me change it to the HP.
you can't. You shouldn't change it to anything.
The printer. It says save as PDF.
I'll have to look at it after. Sorry, kids. Josh distracted me twice.
That was important. I was printing a crowd.
Okay. All right, so An open dot looks like this, and the number is not included. So when we have these numbers that are not included, usually that's when we see is less than or greater than. And a closed dot is your circle, but it's your colored in circle. And what do you think? You're right, Armando. The number is included. So in that case, we have our less than, equal to, and greater than, equal to signs. Okay? So let's check it out. Let's graph some numbers. And don't worry, we only have 2 examples. Okay? Example 1. Oh, and we are going to graph the inequality on a number line. Okay? So let's say I have the inequality n is greater than 9. I'm going to make my number line, and I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way probably up to 14. Yep. Okay. Now, am I going to include 9 in this? So I ask myself, well, is 9 greater than 9? No. What numbers would be greater than 9? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, that's the direction in which your arrow is going to go. But because 9 is not included, I'm going to